Hey everybody, let's go ahead and take a look at this right here. Round one, absolute value brackets are like parentheses. Solve what's inside first. I should have put a period right there because that's the only thing they have in common with parentheses. Solve it first, but it's absolute value, so then whatever you get, you have to make it positive. And the reason you make it positive is because these absolute value brackets basically are asking you, what is the distance of this number away from 0 on the number line? So let's go ahead and take a look at these. Let's zoom in, shall we? Okay, so if I have -2 plus 7, I'm going to solve that first. Okay, a positive and a negative are mixed signs, so you're going to use subtraction. 7 subtract 2 is 5. Now the number that's farther away from 0 in this situation is the -7, so that means that the answer will also be negative. Okay, now here's the thing though, we still have to take the absolute value, and the absolute value of -5 is just 5. Your final answer is 5. Okay, next one, if I have -3 plus 5, and we want to take the absolute value of that, first you have to solve what's inside first. Okay, now, different signs, so 5 subtract 3 is going to be 2. In this case, the 5 is further from 0, so it's going to be positive, because 5 is positive. And now we're going to take the absolute value. How far is this number 2 away from 0 on the number line, which is 2? Okay, all right, number 3, this is getting a little bit juicy now. What we have right here is a set of neighbors, okay? Now, when you have double negatives, that's really just a different way of writing an addition problem. And the mistake a lot of people make is that they want to throw another negative on this 3. Do not throw another negative on the 3. They became a positive, okay? All right, now we have -7 plus 3. Mixed signs, you got to use subtraction. Excuse me, I stumbled over my words there. 7 subtract 3 is going to be 4, but the number that's further away from 0 is the -7 in this case, so therefore our answer is going to be negative, but we still need to take the absolute value of that number. How far is -4 away from 0? Well, the answer is 4 units. So 4 is our final answer. Last but not least, notice how we have a -2 and a -6 right there. Okay, when the signs are the same, you add the numbers. 2 plus 6 is 8, but then you keep the sign, so it's going to be -8. And the absolute value of -8 is just 8. All right, next round, round number 2. Okay, we're going to solve the equation, then we have to show our work. All right, the absolute value of 4 is just 4. The absolute value of 5 is just 5. We're being asked to add these, and this has a total of 9. Guys, let's compare it to number 6, because I wrote this similarly on purpose. A lot of people think that number 5 and 6 would have the same answer. That's not so. You have to answer what's inside first. -4 plus 5, mixed signs, so it's really subtraction. 5 subtract 4 is 1. The absolute value of 1 is just 1, okay? And so our final answer is 1. Compare that to 9. They are not the same, okay? So, different process. We're going to do the same thing with number 7 and 8, so that way you can compare and contrast. For number 7, the absolute value of 9 is 9. The absolute value of 2 is 2, and when you add those, you're going to get 11. For problem 8, you have to solve what's inside of the brackets first. So 9 plus -2, mixed sign, so you have to subtract it. That's going to give you 7. 9 is further away from 0, so it's going to be +7. And when you take the absolute value, it's still going to be 7. So 11 versus 7, not the same, okay? Got to be careful with that. All right, now, for the need more practice, I'm just going to go through that for those that actually want to check your answers. For A, it is 8. For B, it is 6. For C, it is 7. And for D, it is 1. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at round 3. Okay? Solve each equation, show your work. Now, here's where people get confused. Just because there's absolute value signs, that doesn't mean that the answer to any equation that has absolute values is going to be positive. Okay? Here's why. The absolute value of 8 is 8. The absolute value of 10 is 10. We've already used the absolute value part, but this subtraction has not been dealt with yet. And 8 subtract 10 is equal to -2. If you're not sure why, that's just because 8 subtract 10 is the same as adding 8 and -10, which is going to give you -2. Okay? All right. So if I have 8 subtract 10 in the absolute value brackets, we already know that it's going to be -2 because we solved that in problem 9. But if we take the absolute value of that, that's going to be a positive 2. In this case, they're still not the same answer. You have negative 2. Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. You have negative 2, meant to highlight it. Negative 2 versus positive 2. It's different, okay? All right, number 11. The absolute value of negative 12 is just 12. The absolute value of 4 is 4. We haven't dealt with this subtraction sign yet, but the absolute values are gone. But now we're going to subtract 12 and 4. Regular subtraction is just regular subtraction, so that's going to be 8. Now, when I do number 12, I have to solve what's inside my absolute value brackets first. So negative 12, subtract 4. If you think about it on the number line, negative 12 would be like right here. If you subtract 4, you're going to go 4 spaces to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be negative 13, negative 14, negative 15, negative 16. So we're really taking the absolute value of negative 16, which is just equal to positive 16. Not the same thing as number 11, though it is tempting to call them the same. And let's wrap this up. If you did need more practice, the answers are 7, 11, 1, and 7.